All right, we are live. As they say, woo, that was a close one. Our Lions win 41-38 in Los Angeles. Let's talk about it. Well, son, 41-38, as they have always said, a win is a win is a win. Our Lions pull out the win in a game that, let's just be honest, a game that we both thought would be a tough game. They scored more points than we thought. Actually, both teams did, but our Lions pull away and now move to 7-2. Let's start. You know what? I'm going to start with the. Let's start with the easy part first. Let's talk about the Lions. No, let's start. Yeah, let's start with the Lions offense that put up 41 points. What's your thoughts?
Oh, well, man, I guess I got a few things to say. So at first, before, obviously we knew the Lions had the top five offense in the league. And I always had this thing where I guess it's not like it matters how they score the points because they were scoring a lot of points. But there was times where I was wondering like how they were even doing it. Like I didn't even really understand how they were scoring that many points because,
Right,
other teams score points. I mean, it's not like they have to get like 70-yard touchdowns, but you'll see Tyreek Hill getting like 45-yard touchdowns and stuff. And we
right,
usually
right.
score points in more conservative ways. But this game, Van Johnson, it really seemed to open up. And guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, I just don't know how Amon-Ra St. Brown's improved so much from being a guy that, I mean, he was never this good in the run after catch last year or any years before this. I don't know what happened, why he's so good in getting yards after the catch now, to be honest. And I pretty much was wrong about Jameer Gibbs. I don't know how many carries he got, but they must have at least split carries, right? Like they probably got even carries, or did
Yeah, we're going.
Montgomery still get more?
Yeah, we're gonna break it. We're gonna break. We'll break it down in a minute. Yes, they did. They got about even carries. Jameer had 14, David 12.
Okay, yeah, yeah. No, offensively it was a pretty sharp game.
Okay, yeah, that's agreed. Okay, so let's break this down individually. Okay, let's go with Jared Goff. Let's start with quarterback Jared Goff. 23 of 33 for 333 yards, two touchdowns. He didn't throw an interception. What was your thoughts on our QB?
Oh yeah, like he has, excuse me, like he has for basically the whole season. He was balling. I mean, that's the least I could say, to be honest. Uh, yeah, I mean, honestly, he's been playing. He's just been playing good, consistent football. He's not like I don't know how to explain it. He's not. I guess he's not like an exciting quarterback like Matthew Stafford or C.J. Stroud, like a straight gunslinger like that. But I guess that's not like you can't make him into something that he's not. So he's good at what he does, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, I agree. He's a very, in my opinion, old school quarterback. He just does everything well. He's not super, exciting, but he's just solid. I mean, look at that. I mean, two touchdowns and no interceptions tell us that he did a very good job. Our running back, son, rushing, we put up 200 yards, 12 for 116 for Montgomery, but most of those came on a 75-yard run right before the first half ended. Jameer Gibbs came in and did his thing with 14 and 77 yards, two touchdowns. What's your thoughts on our running backs?
Man, yeah. If they keep going like this, I mean, shoot, we're about to have to start saying we have one of the best running back duos in the league. I
Oh
mean, that
yeah,
was an absolutely insanely dominant first half rushing wise. I don't understand. I don't know. Hey, but I do know what it was. Our line was all the way healthy. That's really what it was. I feel like that was the
true.
big reason why the run game was doing so well. It's just pretty cool to see how elusive Jameer Gibbs is, and he just runs really fearless. They were talking about how a defender had an angle on him, but he doesn't even need to slow down or juke. He basically can almost juke at full speed, and that's something that a lot of other players can't do. So it's just really nice to see him and David Montgomery out there. And yeah, I don't like comparing people, but yeah, I guess I would have to say David Montgomery and Gibbs probably would be better than Swift and Jamal Williams duo, just because mainly because David Montgomery is pretty freaking good actually in the run game, and he's obviously faster than Jamal Williams too. So
There's a reason why when you and I did our mid-season show, that's why I said that David Montgomery was my surprise player because, like I said, he was averaging 3.5 yards or something with the Bears, and he has definitely shown out for the Lions. I guess there's two things. Number one, he has a great offensive line, and two, he probably was a little underrated. And if anybody is out there who remembers the Cowboys, unfortunately, I was one of those people back in the 90s who I always said, well, Emmitt Smith, because they used to try to compare Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders. Emmitt Smith was a great back, though. I'm not at all not saying he wasn't. But us Lions fans always said, man, Emmitt Smith runs behind a Hall of Fame line. Barry Sanders doesn't have that. And I guess those Dallas Cowboys fans could talk to me in 2023 and say, well, yeah, Dave Montgomery is running behind a great offensive line. Of course, he's having a great season. But, son, he's doing a lot better than I expect. And I give him a lot of credit. Let's move on to our receivers. If you could see look on the screen, son, Amon St. Brown, 8 for 156 and a touchdown. And everybody else, it was just basically Jared Goff spreading the ball out. What was your takeaway on our pass catchers?
well, I mean, the main guy, was Amon St. Brown. Like I mean, that dude is just. I mean, I I don't understand. Like I said, I don't understand how he gets open so much. I mean, we know he's gonna get the ball. We know that he's gonna get the ball in those third and shorts. Heck, we know he's gonna get targeted on third and long. But it doesn't even really matter because he still finds a way to get open. And it's not just him finding a way to get open. It's Ben Johnson being so creative as an offensive coordinator. I mean, he was doing things because Montgomery
Yes,
and
he
the run
was.
game was cooking so much. They had a play where, I mean, I guess you could say it was a simple play, but it was play action. The whole line shifted to the right, so it looked like they were running to the right, and they dumped it. I don't know who he dumped it out to, but they did it twice. One of the times they dumped it to Brock Wright, and Brock Wright had like at least a 25-yard touchdown, and that was off an amazing play by Ben Johnson. So it was just another pretty good performance from the receivers. And Khalif Raymond's another guy I feel like that we've been seeing so much on the stat sheet as well. I feel like he's been showing up a lot. So I have to give him some recognition. And
Yes,
then I guess James Williams, he had a decent game as well.
yes, Khalif Raymond, who I like, his biggest play was in the fourth quarter, that 41-yard catch. Now he had 2 for 46, but he showed up big when he needed to. My boy Sam Laporta is doing he's doing pretty much what I'm expecting. 4 to 6 catches a game, 40 to 60 yards is about what we're expecting. And I will say something positive about Jamison Williams. 2 for 18 for a guy with his speed. No, that doesn't stand out. But two things stood out. That touchdown that got called back, it was nice. I like the fact that he gave his body up for that touchdown, even though it got called back from a chop block on Taylor Decker. But one of the catches that Jameson Williams had was across the middle, and I think that is one of the biggest things we need. What this is kind of what it reminds me of. He needs to keep working on becoming a complete receiver. I heard that Coach Mike Tomlin for the Steelers said something about George Pickens. People said, well, how come Pickens doesn't get the ball thrown to him more? And Mike Tomlin said because he's not a complete receiver. Tomlin said, yeah, he's great on a spectacular catch, but we need a well-rounded receiver. And that kind of seems to me where Jameson is. I think we may be taking a step in the right direction when we start to see him catch balls over the middle. But guess what? This team, this offense put up 41 points. Now let's talk about our defense. Now, this was the hard part. I want to say this for last. That's why I went with offense first. We gave up 38 points. If we look at these statistics, sons, son, look, man, Justin Herbert, you and I talked about him last night. He cooked. We got to be honest. 323. He might have threw a pick, but 4 of their 5 touchdowns came on passes. They did get the one from Eckler rushing, but look at that. We another game where we kept the opposing team under 100 yards rushing. Of course, look at Keenan Allen. What did we say last night, son? We knew Keenan Allen was going to cook. He cooked.
Uh,
11 for 175 and 2 touchdowns. Literally, that's all all that Herbert threw the ball to. What's your thoughts on our defense?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that all those receivers cooked. People are all on Twitter talking about that we need to fire Aaron Glenn. I just don't know how clear we got to make it, guys. The Lions, I don't know if it was arrogance or what, but I'm not trying to be a couch GM, but the moves we needed to make to improve the team were right in front of our faces. Like we thought, or
Come on.
we know this, our pass rush is not good against good teams. Once again, we didn't have a good pass rush today, and we could have got Chase Young for a third round pick. And people keep complaining about Aaron Glenn with the corners. The corners ain't that good, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not saying Cam Son's not that good, but he can't cover Keenan Allen. Like, come on now.
Keenan
He's
Allen was cooking.
11. How
Yes.
tall is Keenan Allen? Like 6'5"?
Yeah, he is. He's a big boy. Yeah, he's like 6'5". Yeah.
And that's why they're playing off. He can't, like, our corners are too small to be pressing these receivers anyway, so it doesn't make sense. And then if you're playing off coverage and you're still getting beat deep, you can't blame the coach. Like, that's just not good coverage. It just seems like they
Amen.
still get or like once you watch the second half, you'll see they just seem to still. And I wish we could see like the coach's view or something because they still they get confused on defense or something. I don't understand what happens to them in the secondary.
Man,
But
son, we gonna have to agree on that because, yeah, people keep blaming Aaron Glenn, but you're right. He has to call the plays, and this is the thing that I noticed when you and I were on Twitter, and we both were talking to different Lions fans on Twitter at the trade deadline, and Lions fans were, getting upset and saying, "Man, the team's not that bad. You guys want this, that, and the other." But bro, I'm looking at the stats right here. We had 0 sacks.
yeah,
0 sacks. There were some pressures on Herbert, I'll say that, but we had 0 sacks. And now, son, this is from me going all the way back to the 80s being a Lions fan. We've had lots of I've seen lots of GMs come and go in these last, let's just call it 35 years to be fair. 35, 36 years. And the same thing happens every single year. We never make a big move even in 1991, 1993, 2000, 2012. Every time we had a time where we could make a playoff run, we let big chances go. Okay, let's say we can't resign Chase Young. Let's say we don't. But what if we get Chase Young and he's healthy enough to give us another decent pass rusher, and we had to give a third round pick? And what about Montez Sweat, who I like a lot? We let the Bears get Montez Sweat for I think a fourth and a sixth, something like that. Those are the type of moves that I'm talking about that we can make that could make a difference. That we can try to get there. Leonard Williams from the Giants, he went to the Seahawks. That could have been another D tackle that we could have had in the middle. I agree with you. There was moves out there we could have made, and we just didn't try to make them. And the trade deadline is come and gone, and we gave up 38 points.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I agree. And then, yeah, because I don't know, because then it's like so, like I don't know how to explain it. So like, because I was thinking, like, I have like an analogy, I guess. So like, like, because in track, let's say you have a guy that's running 49s and stuff. That's good enough to win the regular meets. Like the Lions, I don't know how to explain it. Like, so they're running 49s right now. But the thing is, once you get to the conference or once the Lions get to the playoffs, that's not enough to cut it, though. That's not enough to actually win a playoff game. And then people are going to say, well, it wasn't our year. But no, we actually did have a chance for it to be our year. We're second in the NFC by quite a bit now. You have a chance to make the Super Bowl run right now.
Yes.
But I mean, maybe not because you guys chose to not pick up easy players that you could have picked because of maybe personality issues, I guess. I don't know. But
Yeah, they said, GM Brad Holmes said something about the chemistry that he and coach were talking, and they didn't want to mess up the chemistry. But I mean, I learned something from the Eagles. I'm talking about the Eagles right now, the 2020 Eagles, and I learned this back in the day from the '90s Saints. They both had the same philosophy: you can never have enough pass rushers.
yeah,
So bringing in one of those guys. When I heard that either Montez Sweat or Chase Young was, I'm surprised Washington gave up both of them. But when I heard that one of them had the potential to leave, I said, man, the Lions need to jump on this. And I'm gonna tell you this now. Hopefully, it doesn't come back to hurt the Lions, but the Bears, the Lions fans, you're gonna see the Bears defense is gonna improve in the next couple of years because of that Montez Sweat trade. I'm telling you, the guy is a dominant pass rusher, and that was somebody we could have tried to get for a fourth and a six or whatever it was they got for him. And you could have put him opposite of Hutchinson because, to be honest, when it comes to one on one, only the front four rushing, we only have Hutch, and that's it. He's the only player we have that can get to the quarterback without assistance, without blitzing. And I hope that doesn't come back to haunt us. But you know what, son? Maybe when this season ends, we know we're going to make the playoffs. I'm not being cocky, but we know we're going to make the playoffs. But maybe if we can at least get one win, maybe if we end up losing in the divisional or the NFC championship game, maybe that'll be enough for Brad Holmes to say, you know what, we need to beef up that D line next year. We need to beef it
Yeah.
up through the draft and free agency and make that real Super Bowl run. But hey, man, in the end, we did get the victory 41-38. We're 7-2. And just like it's supposed to be, we got some good cooking next week. We have the Bears at home. So what was your final thoughts on the game, son?
Oh, I mean, well, overall, it was a good game. I was never really in doubt of the Lions winning. Like, even though it was a shootout, I never was really in doubt of them winning the game because
Mhm.
the offense was pretty much unstoppable. So, um, overall, they just got to keep it rolling. I mean, they honestly they have me convinced they somehow can go 15-2. But I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. I do think uh, I don't know. I got to see how real the Vikings are. I mean, they won today again, so I still think they'll probably split with the Vikings. But yeah,
Let's touch on that real quick before we get out of here. Let's touch on the remainder of the schedule. It is true that I'm looking at the Lions schedule, and even with what happened today, to be honest, there was an ESPN report. I don't think I talked to you about this yesterday, son. That they said they was doing their overreaction thing, and one of the things they said was it said reaction or overreaction. The Lions will have the best record in the NFC, and the ESPN guys said not an overreaction. That they said they really believe that by the end of the season, the Lions could have the best record. That the Eagles have a harder schedule the rest of the way, and if the Eagles drop, let's just say two games.
The Chiefs and the Niners, hopefully.
Yes, the Lions could jump them and have the number one seed. And to be honest, not saying this to be cocky, but I'm not okay. What are we? 7-2, so that's 9. We have what 8 games to go. To be honest, the toughest defense we have the rest of the way, the Cowboys. I'm gonna be honest. The Vikings defense is not bad, especially with Danielle Hunter on the end. He's a maniac off the end as well. But the Cowboys is the only game that I'm seeing that I'm thinking we should. Honestly, son, I watched some of that game earlier with the Saints against the Vikings. Ooh, we should not lose to the Saints.
Yeah.
After watching that, we shouldn't lose to the Saints.
Yes.
So I don't really know what the only roadblock down the rest of the way would probably be the Lions themselves. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like you, we're 7-2. Man, we could probably end up 14-3, and it's not even a stretch.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You know.
Because the Cowboys are currently smashing the Giants. So.
Oh, there. What's the score?
Well, 49-10.
Come on now. Yeah. We knew they was gonna crush the Giants, man. I mean, a dude named Tommy DeVito. You ever heard of him? He's playing quarterback for the Giants.
Oh, wait a minute. They picked up some dude from Italy,
No, he
Middle
was on.
Italy.
Man, they said he was the backup to Daniel
Tommy
Jones.
DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
I thought you were about to say that was some fan or something that predicted something about
Bro,
the
no,
game.
Tommy DeVito is actually playing quarterback for the Giants. And when I saw that, I said, man, the Cowboys
Ooh,
about to blow the Giants out.
yeah, yeah.
And you said it's 42 or 49-10.
49-10. Yeah, he's a bum.
Dang, that's messed up, man.
He is a bum.
Well, Lions fans, we will be with you later on
Mm.
this week when we give our predictions for the game at home against the Bears. I'm gonna just tell you right now, I've got the Lions all day next Sunday. I don't care about them giving a 30. The Chargers are really not that bad. I don't care that the Chargers are 4-5 right now. The Chargers are really a fringe playoff team. The Bears are not. So I'm
Yeah.
rolling with but we'll do our prediction later on this week. Did we forget anything, son?
No, I don't think so.
All right, Lions fans. All of our Lions fans who are in Los Angeles have a safe trip back. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Our TikTok page is right there on the screen. Go and follow us over there. At the bottom of the screen, you see our Twitter/X page. Go over there and follow us, and we can keep talking Lions football. Other than that, Lions fans, we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Peace.